How you doing, everybody? It's Derek, and little Derek, here with Northeast Contracting. We were called to come out and take a look at a basement, but it appears that we have to do a further inspection on the house. This customer had just bought the house, as you can see behind us, and as I was walking around, I found some pretty big issues with the house, so we're going to take a further look. Come on, buddy. I was walking up the hill, I saw that, and let's take a look. Hey Derek, so take a look at this, okay? Look at this wood right here. Now look. Wow. That's amazing, huh? So, now, above us is a sun porch. There is no way that this was pressure treated lumber that was used, and I think that when it was done years ago, their thought process was that it was covered, but it has an overhang and it's not flashed. So if you take a look, we come down a little bit. All right, look up here, the frame is actually collapsing. See it? The pressure. Okay. Now there's no beam. It's held up by these steel lolly columns. Look at that. I'm moving it with this little screwdriver. So what needs to be done is you need to temporarily support this, take these out, and put a new beam in. All right, so now that we see this, let's take a walk around and see what we find in the rest of the house.
Okay.
Alright, so as I was walking into the house, I see a clear bead of silicone. And what really caught my eye was that the plate of the deck was smaller than the deck joist. See that?
Oh, wow.
Now, you should never have to flash, caulk, or seal below the deck. It should be done above. So that tells me, why did they do that? Because that's done recently. So they probably did that because water was getting behind the siding, but from above. So that was their, that was their idea to fix it, but it's not right. So look, so now I look at this, and I could just see soft wood. Look at, and I was right. See the wood? Now the water runs down, and it's even soft down here. Now look at this. Take a look at this, Dave. Look. So we can see that this has been covered. Look. Okay. Now look at this side there. Look, there's nothing left. It's all rotted. See it? So that's a big problem with decks. Now, when you install a deck, before you put the plate on the house, you have to waterproof it, put ice and water, and you have to put a drip cap. Okay? So that's something that is going to have to be corrected. We'll have to support this, take that out, and see what's going on. So let's take a look at the rest of the deck. All right, Derek, so as I was walking up the stairs, I see this seam right here. See the two seams?
Yeah.
So the wood is seamed together, but it doesn't have a post below it. So really, the deck is held up just by one 2x12.
Okay.
See that? Because the seams. Now over here, Derek, the same thing. There's one seam. Okay? Now also a problem is if you look up, so there's no joist hanger brackets. Now joist hanger brackets do two things. Number one, you can see them on the house. So they hold up the deck when there's no beam, but they also hold the end plate on as well. Okay, so we're going to take that end plate off. We're going to put one solid piece. I don't know why they seamed it like that, because a 16-footer will work as one piece and you won't have a seam like that. Alright? And also, what I think that we should do is put, a 2x12 solid one all the way down. Then we'll through bolt it right through this one. And it will still sit on this because there's a little bit of meat left. Okay? Yeah, let's take a walk on. So we're also going to do a hurricane bracket, so we'll tie the beam in. As I'm walking up the stairs, Derek, number one, I'm noticing that, see how they attach the balusts down there? Yeah. They just stapled them. So we're going to correct that. And then I also noticed that the 2x12 treads are just attached to a 2x4. They didn't actually cut stringers out. Now a way to correct that is we take the 2x4s off, we'll take the treads off, the 2x12s, and we're going to attach another 2x12 to this. And instead of a 2x4, we're going to make it a 2x8. So it goes down to the bottom, recess it in, and then we're gonna put risers. Okay, and it'll be solid. All right, so let's take a walk up and see what else we see. What did I tell you the spacing was in between the balusters?
By code, 4 inches apart.
Good job, I'm impressed. So now this one, as you can tell, is 5.5, okay? The reason that it's 4 inches, one of the big reasons, is so a child's head doesn't get stuck in there,
Okay.
or nothing can fall through, okay? So that one's a little bit out of space. So they all have to be consistent, see? This one's correct, so there's 3.5 there, and a little over 5.5 here. So we want to correct that. Some small stuff, that's just poor workmanship, but it's actually not out of code. The railings are the right height, walk around the rest of the house, and we just look at stuff like this. That's drip cap above the door. That looks okay, but it's a wood house, so it's gonna have some rot. All right, Derek, so look, as you can see the split right here in the wood?
Yeah.
The 2x4? So we don't want that as the only thing that's supporting somebody from falling down a good 8 feet, okay? So we're gonna do this too. And see the split right there in the wood? So we come up here, and you wanna look at a few things. We wanna, again, check the wood. And now, what do you see in this corner?
Over here it looks like on the bottom, possible water damage.
Check. There you go, you just have it right there. So yeah, good find, Derek. So, see that? And you know what? So, look at that, Derek. The customer has given us permission to check, around the house, and she wants everything fixed right. So typically, we would poke it with a knife or a screwdriver during an inspection, because I would know that there's good. I just don't stop poking everywhere.
Yeah.
But I would just do it soft. But she has given us permission to really look around because she wants it fixed right. So obviously, somebody that wants her house watertight would want that corrected. Okay. Come over to here, Darren. Now, if you take a look at this, see this, the angle right here?
Yeah.
Now, and then it straightens out. That is an indication of what I showed you down there, is the deck joists are set below the ledger plate, okay? So it's putting pressure, okay? So the deck is actually sagging, which is why this is occurring, okay? So what needs to be done, we'll put a beam, like what we're doing over there. We'll take a little bit of pressure off. We're gonna cut the ledger plate out, put a new one in, and double them up and attach our joist hanger brackets. And we're gonna put another plate below the door because we have to flash it. So we have to take all this out. The clapboard, see this, Derek? Look. So we have to take those 2 rows out, flash it to the house, and that will correct the problem down below. We typically use 12 to 16-inch sonotubes depending on the size of the deck. Now with 4, you can use 12. Those are 8s, which is why the 6x6 is overhanging. Also, they come too high up. They're only supposed to come up 6 inches. So that could shear right off. I would put some hurricane brackets on here, some joist hanger brackets. See that? Okay. So that is unbelievable. So look at that, man. That is actually termite damage. So what happens is the wood gets soaked with water. Even though there's concrete there, the termites will get attracted to the wet wood, and they'll climb right up in there, and they'll eat the wood right out. So a lot of people think it's just rot, but see the tunnels? So the tunnels in the wood, that's not just regular rot. You can actually see the holes in the tunnels. So that is wood destroying insects, and I would say that it's a termite. What we're doing is we're putting these up on each end, and then we're going to use that to hold up our temporary beam to get the screw jack post under it, okay? So, Derek, get the other parts for the screw jack post that was in the shed. I know you have the other one's in the shed. All right, so we put in this 2x10 beam. It's on screw jack posts. 6x6 right here. It's just temporary, just to take the weight off of the porch. You can see that we did our job. And we had to shim each of the deck joists because they were all different heights because of the rot. See? So right now, it's supported. These steel alley columns are doing nothing. We're going to use the machine, and we're going to dig out the concrete sonotubes. That's out. That's it. That's going back. So I can't even go anymore. It's like, that's like what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. It's not a rock. It's right. That's all ledge. So I know it's not going to be deep enough, but I'm just going to adjust the post. Like you saw me scraping it. It's all ledge. So. What is that? That's where the most food is. Tough day, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just finishing up with the last sonotube. It's a long day. Got the whole beam in. Tomorrow we'll put the real beam in once the concrete dries. But yeah, this is a tough day. So we'll be back tomorrow.